important, especially if you got detail, the more important it is not to pour it right on the item, because it will trap some air because the mixture is so thick. So if you got some detail in it, we just want to pour it slowly and let it slowly just fill in all around where it's supposed to on its own.
I see. So the pouring needs to be kind of slow.
And because I got several here, I'll go from one to the other. This heart-shaped button right here has got holes for the thread for the button, so I want to make for sure that the silicone flows into those holes very slowly. Otherwise it would just trap air there and the hole wouldn't develop in the mold itself.
So you're not pouring it right over the holes.
Right. I'm just pouring it close to it so that it can kind of fall over into it. I'm going to let that set for a minute and let it flow some, and then I got this motorcycle that I'm going to pour some on. And the motorcycle has a lot of fine detail on it too, so I want to make for sure that I get it on the side of the motorcycle here and let it flow over onto there. I'll let that set for a minute and go over to another mold here. The advantage of having several molds going at one time is you can move from one to the other and still be pouring while the other ones are still flowing around your objects.
So when somebody is using like this mold right here that has the gears in it, they're actually going to get 3 gears out of it?
Right.
Okay, even though right now it's all one piece.
Yes. Yeah, the part that's one piece is just the background is for my advantage of making a mold.
It makes it easier to make the mold.
Right.
Well, that makes sense. You don't have to fasten each piece down to the board.
Right.
All that kind of stuff, because it's already on one piece.
I know I'm going to go back to my heart here, and I'm focusing on getting those holes to fill in that's in the heart button itself.
So you're pouring kind of close to it then.
Right. And once they fill in, then I can pour a whole lot faster. Let that flow a little bit and go ahead and fill some of my other molds.
So you're giving all your secrets away today, buddy.
They're already out there. There's a lot to be said for experience too, though. These gears have some holes and cavities and stuff in there too, so I want to be careful not to pour too quickly on those as well. Starfish is not that critical. They're so small, and the detail in it is so small and shallow that it's they do pretty good. Go ahead and pour on those.
So it fills in the details easy because they're not deep.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But like the holes in the button, those are deeper, so it will actually trap air in there, and the air won't come out because this silicone is so thick.
So it sounds to me like the smaller ones, because of all the detail, may be more tedious for pouring.
Some of them can be, yes.
You have to pour them slower and be more precise where it goes than maybe if it was a larger one and the detail wasn't as small.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Once the items get covered pretty good, then you can go ahead and pour it a little bit faster. And that one should be good enough. This one still needs some more to finish it off.
So when you say good enough, you mean that you think it's done as far as the amount you need in it?
Yeah, it's going to be thick enough.
Okay.
That one is a real shallow mold because the pieces are thin anyway. Even though this one is filled up and the item is is relatively covered all over, I'm still moving it around so that it can flow out a little bit better than trying to level out itself.
So it looks like that one's got all the details filled in and you're just adding on to the bulk of it, really.
Right.
Okay.
That way it'll be thick enough and not real thin in some of the deeper spots and cause the user getting a hole in it eventually. It needs to have a thick enough bottom to it.
So it'll last longer.
Right.
So is this one all the way covered?
Almost. I got a little.
Not quite. Just a little
spot.
corner. Yeah. So you're still not pouring it right on it though, right?
No. Anytime I can pour onto some silicone rather than the item that's still showing, I pour onto the silicone part to lessen the chance of an air pocket.
Okay, I can see it kind of dripping over that spot a little bit at a time. And then this one we're just putting more in it to bulk it up.
Right. You get it a little bit thicker. And that should be sufficient for that. And that should be enough for the heart button.
Okay, covered it, yep.
And I should have enough on all of them now, and I'm going to go ahead and use the excess that I have here to finish filling up some molds that I have already started.
Okay, so this sounds like a good place to stop for right now, and then we can come back and work on unmolding them, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, see you then.